The Great Commission is a big deal. It's a big deal to me. I try to let it drive everything that I do. The Great Commission gives my life purpose and meaning. All followers of Jesus have a part to play in fulfilling the Great Commission. Although none of us can tell all the world, all of us can tell our part of the world about Jesus and play our part in helping them follow Jesus. In this episode, we're going to focus on Romans 15:14 through 33, and we're going to see how Paul challenges us to live on mission and gives us insight on how to do that. I'm thankful that you took time today to pull up a seat. I hope these few minutes together help you follow Jesus better by deepening your relationship with Him and helping you live intentionally for Him every day. Just to remind you what the Great Commission says, listen to Matthew 28:18 through 20. And Jesus came and said to all of them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I'm with you always to the end of the age." All of us are supposed to work to fulfill the Great Commission. All of us who are trying to follow Jesus are to live on mission. Paul shows us in Romans 15 that for us to stay on mission, we need others in our lives. We need others that are trying to do the same thing. A person living on mission will want to quit. We will get discouraged. The work is hard. Things won't always go the way we thought and the way that we hoped. So we need others in our lives to encourage us and affirm us. You and I need others if we're going to live on mission. The next thing that stands out to me from Romans 15:14 through 33 is that living on mission is a great act of worship. Obedience is worship. When we obey the Great Commission, when we live on mission, we are worshiping God. Telling others about Jesus, to me, is one of the greatest ways to be a living sacrifice. Our telling others about the gospel of the grace of God brings God glory. As we tell others, some will come to faith and begin to worship the one true living God. Obeying the Great Commission is one way that we can worship God. The third highlight for me from this passage, it takes a lot of pressure off of me. For a long time, I was concerned with the lack of fruit of my telling others about Jesus. I would share the gospel with everyone I met, but no one was making decisions to follow Jesus. Then I started studying and I realized that my job was to be faithful to share. It was the Holy Spirit's job to draw people into the kingdom. God is responsible for the results. I'm responsible for doing the work. So what this passage says is we have to humbly rely on the Spirit and power of God for the fruit. We must walk in the power of the Spirit and let Him produce the desired results. The fourth idea that stands out to me is Paul's burden for those that are far from God. You and I should have a burden for people who don't know Jesus. To fulfill the Great Commission, you and I have to have a passion for the gospel and a heart for lost people. Passion for the gospel and a heart for lost people leads to a burden. You and I must want people that don't know Jesus to hear about the good news. Our burden should lead to action. When we have a burden, we go and we make disciples in the part of the world that we are. The disciple of Jesus should be a person of action. Go today and tell someone about the good news. The final highlight for me from Romans 15:14 through 33 is about living on mission. About living on mission has to do where we fulfill the Great Commission. I've alluded to it a few times in this episode, but I just want to help you get it. I just want to help you realize you don't have to go everywhere, but everywhere you go is where you're supposed to tell. Telling the whole world about Jesus and helping the whole world follow Jesus is an impossible task for one person. But each follower of Jesus can tell the part of the world that God has planted them. Right now, the places that I go is not Africa or Central America, even though I've done some mission trips there. I have friends that are there, and they're doing great work. My job, my mission field, is to tell the people in Trustful and the other areas that I go about Jesus. You still might be overwhelmed with telling everyone you know about Jesus. So I just want to encourage you to have at least one person that you're praying for and making opportunities where you can bring Jesus into the conversation. To recap our time together today, all of us are to live on mission. For us to stay on mission, we need community. When we live on mission, it is an act of worship. And living on mission requires us to depend on the Holy Spirit. So go and make disciples in the places you will be today and this week. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Pull Up a Seat. If you've not yet subscribed, do that now so you can get content as soon as it comes out. Also, please help us get the word out by sharing on social media and inviting others to pull up a seat. Until next time, grow in your relationship with Jesus and find one way to live intentionally for Him. See you next time when we pull up a seat.